what does it mean to have a loud mind? I mentioned this in my last video a little bit, but I did not go into detail about what I meant by that. This doesn't mean that you have that one really irritating song replaying over and over and over and over and over and over and over inside of your head until you go nuts. So, a loud mind. What I mean by this is I have a problem with not being able to concentrate on what's going on in the outside world, but rather what's going on in the inside world in my head. This makes writing stories and coming up with ideas for anything creative quite nice because I always have it floating around in my head. I'm also quite visual, so everything that's inside my head is in quite vivid detail. But it makes what's going on the outside very difficult to hear / comprehend / care about a lot of the times. So some of the ways that having a loud mind impedes on my daily life is I can't sleep at night. How many of you have gone to bed all prepared to get a really lovely night's rest and you have to wake up in the morning for either school or work or just get out of bed at some point in time, and the instant you lay down, your mind goes wild. You have all the thoughts of what happened that day, of what's going on tomorrow. There might be a little bit of anxiety mixed in there because, oh my goodness, my clock is gonna go off at like 7:30. Am I gonna wake up on time? Who knows? The other thing that keeps me awake is coming up with all the fun comebacks I could have said to, 90% of the conversations that I had that day. And that fun song that comes back into your head at, 1:30 a.m. when you're still trying to sleep. Have you ever had the experience of having a song so stuck in your head that it shows up in your dreams as the soundtrack? And I wake up and it's still in my head. So the next problem is that I can't focus on what my professors are saying in classes. The only way that I have figured out how to concentrate on what my professors are saying is if I'm making intense eye contact with them as they are talking, which one is kind of awkward if they catch me because they probably assume that I'm paying close attention, which I am, but I'm also just trying to focus on their words coming out of their mouth. And two, I can't take notes because if I look away, I instantly start having my brain go insane and I'm concentrating on taking notes, but then I can't hear the prof, and then I'm trying to take notes, and then if I can't hear what they're saying, then obviously I can't take notes. Yeah, it just doesn't really work. I've been told that one way you can remedy this is to have a note taker. I don't know. Admitting that this is a problem, well, I guess I am admitting it to all of you. But yeah, I can't focus on what my professors are saying, so I end up just having to hear what they're talking about and then either ask about the notes after class or just hope to God that they have a PowerPoint presentation online somewhere. The next problem that comes with having a loud mind is I miss half of what people say. Even if we're having like a direct conversation, I will miss like the second half of what they say and then I just guess what they said, which is kind of unhelpful because a lot of the time I'm wrong. So there's a lot of confusion between what we're both talking about. Which also leads to me using my most famous word, 90% of my vocabulary is that word. So I was dating someone not too long ago who thought my was pretty cute, but the problem was that a lot of times she would be saying something really sweet and I would miss what she said, and so I'd be like, and she would just laugh, and then half the time she would say never mind because maybe it was something that was sweet. I'd be like, no, please tell me what you said. I actually missed it. I really didn't hear it. I can't hear it when people mumble. So I would just be like, what was that? And so that makes me so sad because I miss out on all of these fun things that people are saying, or sweet things, or mean things, which actually that one is probably a good thing. Why do I always have to mishear people? That's another thing. Not only do I not hear people, I also mishear them. So many times I will be talking to one of my roommates. This is where it happens the most, honestly. One of my roommates will be talking and I will completely hear something so very different from what they just told me that it's hilarious. I used to not tell them what I heard. I would just say, wow, I totally misheard you there. But now I tell them and it is the funniest thing. They could say something as mundane as, yeah, so we're having pizza for dinner. and I will hear the octopus littered over there. Like, honestly, it's the weirdest thing. It won't even have anything to do with our conversation, which probably explains my confusion, because I could never understand why they would tell me that the octopus was over there. I probably have never said that phrase exactly, but you know, that's okay. So yeah, it's a struggle. For a while I thought I just had really bad hearing, but I don't. I have great hearing. I can hear little teeny noises. So YouTube has these pitch tests that you can listen to, and you know, from different ranges of age, people can hear them. And I'm fine. Like, apparently I have decent hearing, and when I go to the doctor, they tell me my hearing is pretty much fine. Because for a while I thought it was because of my music being way too loud. Like, I listen to my music really, really loud, and it has increasingly gone up over the years. But apparently that's not it. So I'm guessing it's just a processing speed when people talk to me, which is fine. I mean, there's not really anything I can do about that. I just have to learn to live with it. I have to come up with ways to fix that. So I've noticed that eye contact is really important. The more I know someone, the better I can understand them, because I understand their facial expression, I can understand their gestures. There's a lot of other loud-minded things that I didn't mention. Sometimes it comes with bouts of anxiety and little bits of obsessive-compulsive problems. For example, like checking. For me, since I have so much worry, especially surrounding time management, being on time places is like the biggest place where I have these huge waves of anxiety, and I have to like check my phone all the time to see if I'm gonna be on time, and if I'm not, then I kind of freak out. And public transportation is the worst for that, because it's often unpredictable, and unpredictable stuff is really, really difficult for me, because it just goes over and over in my mind. Oh my god, I'm gonna be late. Oh my god, I'm gonna be in trouble. Oh my god, I'm gonna get fired. So the loud-mindedness, yes, sometimes it can be nice, because I am never really alone. I've got my own voices going on in my head. That makes me sound like. And I always have stories to write and songs to sing along with my own brain. So I'm never bored. So that's nice. There's definitely some pros and cons to it. So what about you? Do you experience this loud-mindedness phenomena, or are you just a free spirit who never has to worry about what's going on inside their head? Let me know down below in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye!